Have you ever been so buried in your business that you just hire the first person you can find that says yes? Yeah, that's exactly how most bad hires start. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who runs a plumbing company, and they had just hired someone from a key role. They actually moved them from another state. And when I asked how they picked him, they basically just said, well, he was available, he seemed like a good guy, we just needed someone in the seat. And look, honestly, I get it. I've been there. When you're drowning, when you're exhausted, when you've got customers calling and deadlines slipping, you just need help. Someone to take the weight off. I get it. But the thing is, those hires, those desperation hires, they almost always cost more in the end. I have seen it 100 times, and to be really honest, I'm guilty of doing it myself. Someone tends to get promoted because they've been around the longest, or they've been hired because they come from some big name company that you respect, or you just kind of kept them around because no one wants to have an awkward conversation. And on paper, it looks like progress because you've got somebody sitting in that seat, right? New title, new role, problem solved. But in reality, you just planted a landmine. Because unfortunately, likability isn't a qualification, and pedigree isn't competence. And hoping someone just grows into the role, that's not strategy, that's just straight up denial. And that's exactly why filters matter. I don't care if you use GWC, the get it, the want it, the capacity to do it, or if you use something like the 4 C's. Character, culture, competence, chemistry. At some point, it doesn't really matter which one of the filters you pick. It does matter that every single box in that filter gets checked. And this is going to be a shocker to some of you, but in an interview, people will say whatever they think you want to hear. So your job isn't just to believe the words, it's to sort through the BS and find the truth. So ask yourself, do they really get the role? Do they really understand what's required? Do they want the role? Because it doesn't matter if they understand it if they don't want to do it. And then ask, do they have the capacity to pull it off? Skill set, training, competence, experience. And here's the thing most leaders miss. If you're not intentional, you're gonna end up hiring for what the business used to be and not the one you're trying to build. And look, yesterday's team cannot create tomorrow's results. That's why growth slows. That's why momentum tends to plateau. And that's why businesses get stuck. But the very best leaders, they resist that urge just to fill the seat, just to get someone in. They slow down just long enough to ask, who do we actually need to get to where we're going? And then they filter like hell just to make sure they're not hiring warm bodies, but they're actually building a team that can take them to the future, because those desperation hires, they'll almost always cost more than the gap you're trying to fill.